Welcome back to the course on Advanced Switchgear. Today we are going to see about circuit breaker ratings. Introduction to circuit breaker ratings. Circuit breaker is called upon to perform difficult duties performed in a power system. Circuit breaker duty is to operate under all different circumstances in power system. So, if we consider a circuit breaker, it will be used when there is a dangerously high current to be tripped during a short circuit period. So, this is a very difficult duty which is performed by circuit breaker. If you take other components of a power system such as CT, PT or transformer or generator, all these components has their own task or their duty is not so difficult than a circuit breaker, because circuit breaker is going to interrupt a very high peak current under any circumstances, under any condition, under any time, and it should be in a form, it should operate at any situation. So this is the difficult duty which is performed by the circuit breaker, and this is the circuit breaker is one of the rugged instrument in the power system. Circuit breaker performance depends upon the nature of the circuit. Depending on the nature of the circuit, such as if it is a long transmission line, then the circuit breaker performance will differ. If it is a short transmission line, then its performance differ. When it is connected to a HT line where the power is generated from a remote generating station and it is transmitted to another town which is 400 to 600 kilometers away, in which a circuit breaker is installed, then its performance depends on the circuit in which it is connected. Circuit breaker ratings. Complete specification, standard ratings and various tests we can refer to Indian Standard 375 bar 1951. This is the Indian standard where the ratings and the tests to be performed on a circuit breaker is mentioned. There are three major duties of circuit breaker under short circuit conditions. First one is circuit breaker must be capable of breaking the fault current and isolate the faulty section in case of any fault. This is described as breaking capacity of a circuit breaker. So, if there is a fault occurring in a transmission line, then the duty of the circuit breaker is to break the current flowing in the faulty section of the transmission line. So, this is described as breaking capacity of a circuit breaker. The second one is making capacity. Circuit breaker will be put on 2 to 3 times in order to ensure the permanency of the fault. This refers to making capacity of circuit breaker. If a fault occurs, then in a substation they will ensure the fault and ensure the permanency of the fault. So they will turn on the circuit breaker for 2 to 3 times to ensure the fault. So if we turn on a circuit breaker with the fault, then the peak current will be flowing through the circuit breaker. So this should ensure that the making capacity of the circuit breaker is up to the peak level which will flow in the circuit when there is a short circuit, and 2 to 3 times we are turning on it to check the permanency of the fault. So this is the making capacity of circuit breaker. Third one, always circuit breakers operate in conjunction with other circuit breakers. So in a power system, we can see all the circuit breakers will operate with together. Okay, you cannot isolate a single system from other system. All these systems are connected to the grid, and all the circuit breakers will operate together. So in case of fault on any one of the section, the breaker in good section should not trip. This refers to short time capacity of the circuit breaker. If you see a power grid, there will be several sections and several grid area. For example, in our town itself, we will be having several sections: north section of our town, south section of our town, east section and west section. If they found a fault north section of the town, then the north section should only be isolated. The south section, east and west section should not be isolated, because the fault is occurring only in the north section. So the circuit breaker should have a short time capacity to carry the fault current, so that the north section circuit breaker will trip and the other section circuit breaker will wait till the north section circuit breaker trips the fault. So this is referred to as short time capacity. In addition to the above, a circuit breaker ratings should be specified in terms of number of poles, rated voltage, rated current, rated frequency, operating duty. First, we will see about number of poles. The number of poles per phase of a breaker is function of operating voltage of breaker. If we see a breaker which has a highest operating voltage, so then the poles required to break per phase will be more. If you see a 11 kV breaker, then there will be having 2 poles per phase, so it will be having 6 poles for a 3-phase connection. So the operating voltage decides the number of poles. Poles per phase increases with respect to voltage rating of the breaker. If the voltage rating of the breaker goes on increasing, then the poles per phase will also increase. Usually, for lower voltage ratings, single pole per phase is used. Since the voltage rating is low, we can use a single pole per phase for a circuit breaker to trip the circuit. Rated voltage. Normal operating condition, the voltage at any point of the power system is not constant. In power system point of view, the operating voltage in a power system is not a constant. It will vary from area to area. So manufacturers guarantees perfect operation of circuit breaker is at maximum rated voltage or rated maximum voltage. This rated maximum voltage must be higher than the rated normal voltage. If you are going to purchase a circuit breaker to be connected in a power system, and the circuit breaker rating should be higher than the rated normal voltage of your power system. If you are going to buy a circuit breaker for 6.6 kV line, then the rating of your circuit breaker should be higher. Say it should be up to 8.8 kV, so that it can have some extra capacity to handle the short circuit current. So it should always be higher. The rated maximum voltage of a circuit breaker is the highest RMS voltage above system voltage, for which the circuit breaker is designed, and this voltage is the upper limit of operation. So the highest RMS voltage should be the maximum rated voltage, so that the upper limit of operation should also be the rated maximum voltage, and more than that it should never go. If it is more than that, then the circuit breaker device will get failed. Rated current. The RMS value of circuit breaker which the circuit breaker shall able to carry at rated frequency and at rated voltage continuously. So the RMS value of current the circuit breaker can capable of carry. If you say a transmission line is about to go with 100 amps, then the RMS value of the circuit breaker should also be rated to be 100 amps or more than 100 amps. It should not be less than 100 amps. Then it will damage the circuit breaker very easily. The current rating is also decides the temperature rise in the circuit breaker. Rise in temperature of various components of the circuit breaker is very important because if a current flows in a conductor, it will heats up the conductor. So the temperature of the conductor and all the components in the circuit breaker depends on the current that is flowing through the conductor. In oil circuit breaker, temperature rise of oil should not be more than 40 degrees centigrade. The temperature should be less than 40 degrees centigrade so that the oil circuit breaker can work perfectly. Similarly, the contacts of the oil circuit breaker should not exceed 35 degrees centigrade. These two are oil circuit breaker Indian standards. So this standard is followed throughout all the circuit breakers so that these values, the temperature of oil value and the temperature of contact value should not exceed the standard ratings. Rated frequency. The rated frequency of a circuit breaker is the frequency at which it is designed to operate. In India, we are having a rated frequency of 50 Hz. So when you are purchasing a circuit breaker to be installed in our country, then we are going to purchase a rated frequency for 50 Hz. In other countries such as US or England, they are having a rated frequency of 60 Hz. So they will be purchasing a circuit breaker for 60 Hz. The standard frequency in India is 50 Hz. Circuit breakers are available in 60 Hz. Operating duties. Circuit breaker consists of the prescribed number of unit operation at stated interval of time. So if you purchase a circuit breaker, then there will be a given 1000 operations can be allowed. After that you need to go for a maintenance in a circuit breaker. So if you purchase a circuit breaker, the rating of operation or the prescribed number of unit operation is stated in the circuit breaker itself. You can operate the circuit breaker for 1000 times and then you have to go for a regular maintenance. Otherwise the parts will be damaged in the circuit breaker. Or if you are using a oil circuit breaker, after the rated operating time, then you need to change the oil in the oil circuit breaker. So this is the operating duty of the circuit breaker. Let us discuss about the three main duties of circuit breaker. First one is, we already know, the breaking capacity or rupturing capacity. This is the highest amount of short circuit current that a circuit breaker can handle. Making capacity. This making capacity should occur when we are going to check the permanency of fault in a circuit breaker. During this time we will be tripping on the circuit breaker with the presence of fault. So if there will be a fault, you will be turning on the circuit. Okay, if there is a short circuit fault, you will be turning on this circuit with the short circuit fault. At this time, a huge amount of current will be flowing through the circuit breaker, which will be greater than the breaking capacity also sometimes. So the circuit breaker should be designed in such a way that it should capable to handle the making capacity of the circuit breaker to ensure the permanency of fault in a circuit. And the third one is short time current rating. This short time current rating, if a lot of circuit breakers are working together, then the good circuit breaker should not trip. Okay, if the fault is occurring in the other end of the circuit or other end of the area, then that area only should trip. The good area, the circuit operating in good area should not trip. So this is the short time current rating of a circuit breaker. Breaking capacity or rupturing capacity. This expresses the highest RMS value of short circuit current that circuit breaker is capable to break under specified condition of transient recovery voltage and power frequency voltage. So this is the highest RMS value of short circuit current. So the circuit breaker is rated for 700 milliamperes. So this is the highest value of RMS current that a circuit breaker can handle. If the value exceeds above this value, then the circuit breaker will be damaged. Immediately it will be damaged. So this is the highest value of RMS value of short circuit current, not normal power current. It is the value of short circuit current that the circuit breaker can handle during transient recovery voltage and power frequency voltage. Okay, when these two voltages are present in the circuit, and at that time when a short circuit occurs, then it should handle the highest RMS value. In both conditions also it should work. It is expressed in kiloampere RMS at contact separation. So this breaking capacity will be expressed in RMS value in kiloamperes, not in amperes. It will be in kiloamperes, 1010 kiloampere. Such a high value will be expressed in the circuit breaker rating as breaking capacity. And this breaking capacity is the instantaneous peak current. So it will occur at the contact separation. When the contact is separating, when the arc is forming, then the breaking capacity will be expressed in kiloamp RMS. Okay, it will not be the constant value. Take a 100 ampere line, then 100 ampere amps of current will be flowing in the line for from day to night. So it is not the breaking capacity. 100 ampere is not the breaking capacity. Okay, it will be expressed in kiloampere per RMS. Say it is a 10 kiloampere RMS. Okay, then if the 100 ampere line is, we are going to break the line, then at that time, during the breaking of that time, the current value which occurs across the contacts of separation is the breaking capacity of the circuit breaker, which is kiloampere RMS value, which is the highest value which is expressed. Current RMS value varies with time due to the presence of DC component of the circuit with the decays with time. You can see in this figure, this is the short circuit current wave shown in this figure, and this is the normal x-axis or normal zero line of the current wave, and this is the magnitude of short circuit current, and this line represents the DC component of the current. Say if the short circuit occur in this position, you can see instantaneous peak value over here. During this peak, the short circuit has occurred. In particular phase, the current is maximum at the instant of fault. After that, current decays. You can see at the instant of fault, the current is maximum at this point. After that, the current starts to decay. You can see the line is in horizontally slanting. So after this point will be lesser. So the current wave, the fall current start to decay. In addition to relaying time, the circuit breaker starts to opening its arcing contacts only some time later after the initiation of short circuit. You can see from this figure the short circuit occur in this period. Okay, after this period, the contact of separation is occurring after this long duration only. So it is not, the contact of separation is not occurring within the instant. So it is having some time, it having some delay. After the short circuit is occurring, then after some delay of 2 cycles, then only the instant of contact separation is occurring at this point. So the contact separation has some delay. So the short circuit current to be interrupted by the circuit breaker is less than initial value of short circuit current. We can check out the maximum value occurs during the short circuit is this point. When the contact is opening, you can see the current value is lesser than the initial value of short circuit current. This is stated from this figure, and you can also see the DC component of the current wave goes on decreasing to a zero value after the contact is breaking. Then it suddenly goes to zero value for the next cycle. Breaking capacity or rupturing capacity can be expressed as a formula: AC component of short circuit current IAC equal to X. DC component of short circuit current IDC equal to Y. Symmetrical breaking current equal to RMS value of AC component of short circuit current at the instant of separation of contacts will be equal to X divided by root 2. Because we are taking RMS value, we are dividing by root 2. Here you can see the X is the AC component. So to get the RMS value of the AC component, we need to divide it by root 2. Asymmetrical breaking current equal to RMS value of combined sum of AC and DC component. That will be equal to square root of X divided by root 2 whole square plus Y square. So this is the asymmetrical value of breaking current, and the previous one is the symmetrical value of breaking current. So breaking capacity of a circuit breaker will be expressed in MVA, which is expressed like root 3 into rated voltage kV into rated current. Both the values are in kilo. Okay, kilovolt into kiloampere into root 3 for 3 phases. We give the breaking capacity of the circuit breaker in MVA rating. There are two breaking capacities. One is symmetrical breaking capacity and other one is asymmetrical breaking capacity. So the symmetrical breaking capacity occurs when there is the presence of DC wave. Okay, then the asymmetrical breaking capacity occurs when there is AC wave and also DC wave. So from the context we can say symmetrical breaking capacity of a circuit breaker is the value of symmetrical breaking current which the circuit breaker is capable of breaking at stated recovery voltage and a standard reference restriking voltage under prescribed condition. So these values of current are symmetrical in nature. The symmetry represent the natural power wave, the natural voltage wave or natural current wave which is produced in the generator, and the short circuit wave which is produced due to the short circuit of a circuit. These two waves will look symmetrical in nature. So this is known as symmetrical breaking capacity, and this is due to the DC component in the current. Similarly, for asymmetrical breaking capacity of circuit breaker is the value of asymmetrical breaking current which the circuit breaker is capable of breaking at a stated recovery voltage and standard reference restriking voltage under prescribed condition. So during this asymmetrical breaking, the natural power wave and the short circuit current wave will not match. They will be having asymmetrical characteristics, and this is due to the presence of both DC and AC component mixing together that we see in the above formula, root 2 into x divided by square root of 2 whole square plus y square, so that the mixing of AC and DC component causes asymmetrical breaking capacity. Making capacity depends upon ability to withstand the effects of electromagnetic forces, which are proportional to the square of peak value of making capacity. You can see the making capacity represents the square of peak value. Okay, it's not a peak value, it represents the square of peak value. Then this will be the highest value than the breaking capacity. Why we need a making capacity? Say if you are having a transmission line for 100 kilometers, then in case a bird comes and short circuits the line, at once the fault will occur, a short circuit fault will occur, at once the circuit breaker will trip off immediately. Okay, this is not a case, the fault is permanent. At once the bird gets short circuited, the bird will die and it will fall to the ground. The fault is cleared immediately when the bird dies and fall into the ground. To check a transmission line of 100 kilometers, it will take up to 1 hour to walk along or drive along the transmission line to see whether the fault is present. So it will take 1 hour of interruption of power supply to a major city. So to ensure the permanency of fault, the power system people will turn on the circuit breaker after the circuit breaker tripped due to a fault such as bird. Okay, if you turn on the circuit breaker, then we can see easily if the fault is permanent or temporary. Okay, say if the fault is permanent, if you turn on the circuit breaker, again the circuit breaker will trip. Then at this time you can say the fault is permanent. Okay, in case of birdage fault, you can see if you turn on the circuit breaker after the bird has died and fall in the ground, if you turn on the circuit breaker will not trip because there is no more fault in the line. So it will save 1 hour of time in watching the line. All power stations, all substations will ensure the permanency of the fault before checking the power line. Okay, due to this we need a making capacity. Now you can easily understand what is a making capacity. Turning on a circuit breaker with the short circuit fault is known as making capacity. You can easily understand. Okay, if you turn on a circuit breaker with the fault, then the making current will be very high, which will be in square of peak value, which is described in the first statement. The making capacity will include DC component in the first cycle of the current wave after circuit is closed. Here you can see making capacity will be equal to 1.8 into root 2 into rated short circuit breaking current. This is the rated breaking current. We need to multiply it by 1.8 into root 2. While multiplying this, we will get a making current. So to simplify this, we can get up to 2.55 by multiplying these two values, 2.55 into rated short circuit breaking current. So the complete making capacity will be equal to 2.55 into symmetrical breaking capacity. The last one is short time current rating. We have explained earlier. A circuit breaker is sometimes required to carry short circuit current for a short interval of time without tripping. This happens for momentary fails like birds on the transmission line. These types of faults are cleared automatically and pursue only for 1 or 2 seconds. So, circuit breakers are short time rated and they trip only when the fault persists for a duration longer than the specified short time interval. Low voltage circuit breakers do not have any such a short time capacity because These are normally equipped with direct acting series overload trips. The rating is expressed in terms of kiloamperes for a period of 1 second to 4 seconds. These ratings are based on thermal limitations also. Okay, on regarding short time capacity, we can say as easy. Uh, if you are seeing a substation which is feeding a whole town, then the transmission line will be flowing from north side, south side, east side and west side of the town. Okay, if there are four sides of a town, they will be having four individual circuit breakers to control the town power supply. Okay, if there is a fault occurring in the say south side, okay, the fault occurs in the south side of the town, then the other circuit breakers which are operating in conjunction with the south side circuit breaker should be able to carry the fault current in kiloamperes for a specified period of time such as 1 to 4 seconds. So the circuit breakers which are operating with the faulty circuit breaker should be able to carry the fault current for 4 seconds. Okay, after that only the circuit breaker should trip. In similar way, the current flowing in the other circuit breaker, that is the faulty circuit breaker, should trip immediately. So the ratings such as short time current rating will be expressed in such a way that kiloampere for a period of 1 second to 4 seconds. Thank you.